slow, it was timid, it was methodical, but in all the worst possible ways, and paiN were having none of it. Vertigo's a map that lends itself to carnage and chaos and taking the fight on the extremities. Please, ODDIK, for your own good, because they will 100% regret this if they don't come out swinging. If they go down on their shield, Jackie, at least do it on your own kind of initiative, your own aggression. Don't just sit back and absorb the punishment again.
No, exactly. It was a lot of slow defaults, a lot of rounds where it felt like you didn't have the confidence to fight, to want to just instigate those engagements. Didn't back themselves in a lot of the rounds. Has to change. You would really hope they've taken the time between maps to get themselves on the same page, turn those engines on, get themselves fired up. They start on the CT side coming into map 2. paiN going for a slow contact play out towards B. You've got the nade set on Nissim as well. They want to go for the boost with biguzera and Lux going up top.
I see the trajectory of those grenades, though. Turtle realizes it, but he's going to throw that smoke down. There are Julies now. They live by it in the pistol round. On Inferno, will they die by it now? Turtle onto that man of Lux who picked up the ace, and Ponter's there. It's a 2-for-1 trade. ODDIK getting the early aggression and advantage and forcing the T's back for the time being.
biguzera at least finds the head of one of them, but you're still at a disadvantage. Outnumbered, and it keeps getting worse. The Dooley sing for another, and the last man in biguzera, the brains of the operation, is severed. A round you had to win for ODDIK, and this is a lot better, at least with the body language. They're starting to get a bit more amped. They're starting to get fired up. You have to maintain that. You've got to go out there swinging, absolutely windmilling into every round, Vince.
Yeah, I'm so glad to see that afterwards. Not just like a chill sort of acceptance they won the pistol, but actually getting loud, making their opposition, making paiN hear that. These guys have played against each other so many times. They know each other very well. Yes, as Doug said, there's been a couple of changes here and there in terms of the rosters, but the core of these lineups have played against each other time after time in this home nation derby. We have an XM in play, though. Turtle's yielding that one for himself with a couple of MP9s. A lot of up-close and personal weaponry, as you'd expect a map like Vertigo, but it's the MP9 that strikes first.
Even against the pistols, glad to see that there is that oomph to kick off the round on your terms. They push down and squeeze map control off of paiN. biguzera is paranoid about it as well, knowing that ramp has been entirely claimed by ODDIK, so he's got to double up towards spawn. You're playing the anti-eco. You're looking for that over-aggression so that you can hit your shots with the pistols in close range and steal away some weapons. Anti-flash angle towards the left, but the back's going to be exposed as he spots the rear.
Willie putting down the graffiti as well. A little bit of salt to the wounds, but don't assume anything. biguzera had a quiet first map, but he's already kicked off with 3 here, and he has a deagle. MP9's also been picked up. Even if paiN weren't to win this round, if they can kill a couple more players, that in itself could prove to be pretty costly. Here is Ponter with Aftermath, tapping himself to a 3K, and ODDIK secure the second.
Trying to gas each other up as well, calling out their teammates' names, the high fives. One round at a time. Obviously for paiN though, the difference is that was just the anti-eco. That's you looking to see if you can find any damage to the economy. This is the one that you really want to take. Attempt to lop the head off with the Kalashnikovs as the buy comes in. That
previous round really was the appetizer. This is the main course now. If you are paying a bonus round on the side of ODDIK, but it's not as if they're exactly swimming in cash. Ponter's down at 900. Aggression from biguzera. No one from mid had an idea, and the spray from biguzera is going to yield 2, but Ponter stands his ground and will post up 2 of his own. A 3v3 trading up to an AK. But he is all alone on 12 HP. Surely Ponter can't manage to clutch this one by himself. Down he will fall.
So weak off the fight. It would have been hard to get too much more done into that, and instead they bleed out. You've got the site control, you've got everything you need. Nade over the top, might connect onto Nissim and blow him out of the server. So you're back into a 2v2, but it's still low HP for the side of ODDIK. Woody's the only one really in good standing. The longer it goes, the more time ticks away. Dives around the corner, the acrobatics pay off, but you still got to get past the lunatic that is NQC. Sprays through the woods, popping the cranium of Woody. Looks for the repeak as well, and it is on the money.
It's on the money, but that will feel like a bit of a subdued victory. Yes, they're going to get hyped up and amped, but in the context, effectively a bonus round, you had full AKs, you only come out with one, and even then it was really close. Like that jump around the side with the MP9 from Woody, that would have sent shivers down the spine of paiN collectively. And this is off the back of getting some like really free entries on middle. Quite surprising that no one from ODDIK was either in mid or at least watching the window. They seem to have no idea that that was a possibility.
Yeah, biguzera was out in seconds, so that was a really swift play for him to just take all the space off them. And it nearly single-handedly won the round off the back of that play, especially if you got the spray off onto the next man. Here, the early fight for ramp though, exchange of nades, you pepper into the smoke. Bit of damage done to biguzera all the way towards the back, but look at Lux, he's already pacing up, trying to take this space off them.
I can see it, Knight, he so desperately wants to go for that wide swing, but NQZ checking the angle. They may not anticipate a double stack here though. But paiN, it's a hit and run. They take the kill, they back away instantly over onto the B side. They have a bit of mid control as well, where Coez is waiting. And Matios moves into his snare trap. 2 free, straightforward frags puts ODDIK in a very difficult situation now.
Slow walk up into the B site, contact maneuver, nades over the top. The MP9 of Ponter's good for one, but now Turtle's in such a rough angle to really make a play from. Woody's here, sure, but not for long. NQZ with some beautiful taps from the Kalashnikov. He erupts as well. Look at him roaring.
He's such a hype player. I
love it.
I love it. Can only understand half of what he just said. Can't really repeat it.
He said it with emphasis, though, and that's what matters. Fair play to him, man. Like, he really has been a bit of a difference maker for this paiN roster throughout all the games that we've seen them play during this RMR run. He's so multi-talented with the collection of weapons that he can use to a very high skill ceiling as well. Doesn't matter what's in his hands. It always feels like he just shows up with those snapshot reactions. Crosshair placement has been unbelievable the whole RMR.
And whereas that previous round, the 2-1 round that they ended up picking up, would have felt a little bit sketchy and wouldn't have felt completely confidence-inspiring, that last one definitely will. The entries were on point. They shut that down with only one casualty. They forced ODDIK back into USPs now. They know that ODDIK are on the ropes. Economically speaking, they are flat out broke. Tons of damage across the 90, but they have at least funneled away the T's for the time being as they spill out onto ramp. There should be a shooting gallery with Lux doubling up and a burst fire Glock to the dome. But one kill did go the way of ODDIK. However, it is a 3-2 scoreline.
Goddamn, the G in biguzera there standing for Gangster with a Glock burst. At least it wasn't a Mat 10, and he got one of those kills. Could have been a whole lot more money for biguzera. That's what he was looking for with a Mac Daddy towards ramp. Scary stuff already, though. These are the rounds that really do slow you down. From that initial hype of feeling like we're building into it, we're starting to get something going, you're brought back down to reality and now have to scrap for these rounds. You get a buy back. The CT side do have weapons to work with, but they're turning up the tempo on the T side. paiN instantly up ramp, double HE. If there's a player sandbags, he'd be a dead man.
Oh, Knight, he wants to find this window of opportunity and smash through there as fast as possible. Smoke, his eyes, gets caught in the back. Had no idea, but the same could be said of Lux. 1-4 trade, Molly goes down, it's gonna force Matios away, and Woody now gonna try and go for that wide swing, but biguzera, he's up to the task. Ponter trades him out though. And a 3-on-3, but the flick from NQZ will give them the advantage once more. And there's still a minute left on the clock, and 2 players headed over on the B side, where Turtle is laid in wait.
Turtle has it all to do. He's got to be the guardian of the bomb site from this position. Forced off by the warning shots, drops through the smoke, sees a little bit of info. He spotted the side of the player, spamming onto the bomb site and at least gets the free frag, bringing it down into a 2 versus 2. They're both grouped up together though. You don't want to peek into this like this. Back towards quad, it's the headshot that comes out, and NQZ bides his time, pre-scoped and ready to strike.
Oh, he's feeling it right now, Jackie. from the NQC's perspective, that must have been a really nice flick. I think he jumped over the smoke and he flicked upwards. Those vertical shots up and down, not easy with the up because you're more trained left and right. Horizontal rather than the vertical snapshots. And you can see already the ODDIK, after winning the pistol, getting subsequent 2-0. It's been all paiN Gaming again.
Again, man, it's these kind of games where it feels that you need that difference in sort of body language, the posture from the coach, where you have that time out to talk to just instill not only the information you want to translate across, but also just the overall energy as well. Command everyone to get a bit more aggressive, take that space off them. If there's a hero play you want to go for, do it. If there's something you think that will turn the tide of the game, a gap you've spotted, then hell, run it down. Turtle pulls out the Nova, everyone else on the 5-7s. You could go for a bit of a push here. Don't play it like a rifle round, obviously. You want to fight down ramp, you want to run out B main. Hell, see if it pays off.
You know, we were talking before about getting into this game and hoping that ODDIK were going to go for more sort of audacious plays, a bit more aggression, take their future into their own hands and not be reactive but more proactive. These kind of buys, these kind of plays, I'm not necessarily against, but the execution looks a little bit off. IT's got found and put down with authority, and Turtle's already down to 56. It doesn't feel like ODDIK have really got themselves a stranglehold or a foothold in this round so far. And to be fair to paiN, they're sitting back and they're just waiting. They realize that this kind of play could be coming up, and they're making sure they don't rush into anything. Not too headstrong.
Keep it clean. Play for the opportunities you're given and allow ODDIK to open up with a mistake, capitalize off that. So a far slower default where you're looking for them to make the first move and then build into the round overall. You've seen the rotation back off of B. Everyone's grouped up towards the A site. Nissim's been waiting, just on the lurk, trying to sell the idea. Maybe there's still a bit of a movement towards B. You can see if he can backstab with this late in the round. You're getting all that info at mid as well. So a lot of info here, but you've got to execute off the timing. 25 seconds as they walk up into the unknown of the A site.
Into the abyss. biguzera leading the charge as ever. HE's tossed over onto headshot, tons of damage, but the time, it only takes a couple of insta-headshots and this can quickly get out of control. That Nova's going to deny the bomb plant for a couple more seconds, and the Deagle on the cross. Has he just done it? Has Ponter just won this round? 1 second to go, and Holtz's line, and he does! Ponter clutches! Purely off timing, purely off denying the bomb carrier twice.
7 seconds on the clock as the Nova starts to rip its way through them. Big Popper Pump makes an appearance on the server, and like you said, no time, just focus on survival, and he hits the 1 peak to guarantee it. Oh boy, oh boy. Those rounds don't come easy, but with what you went into it with, you are going to count your blessings all damn day. Look at the clock.
Oh, it's so sick. Looked awesome on the replay as well, man. Just to give you the full picture of what was happening in circle from 3 different angles. The hounds were hunting him down, but he survived just for that extra half a second. Jackie, if that is the beginning of ODDIK's resurgence and they end up coming back to win this map, that could be the moment where everything changed.
Flips that switch in your brain. Just got to stick to your guns now. And give away those opportunities. There is an AWP in play, NQZ. We know how much of a beast he is on the scope, of course. The fact that he has the weapon to work with, you still need to be worried. Pretty aggressive towards ramp, peppering bullets through the smoke, hoping one of them will connect. It's got the backup here. 4 players gravitating around towards the site. Mid being left open for now. Turtle trying to gravitate between the windows, so he's got the info on both B and mid. But the whole team of paiN are back at ramp. Look at the positions here, Vince. Oh, this could be carnage.
Could be bloodshed and mayhem. There's a TK. biguzera blocking the shot from Lux. And the back and forth trades into a 3-on-3. Make that a 3-on-2. A 2v1 suddenly. Nissim stands alone. It was looking as if paiN had this in the palm of their hand on the approach, but now Nissim with 10 bullets in his AK against Turtle and Matios. He's anticipating a peek in. He does have the bomb, but only 20 seconds left. Molotov just behind him as well, as you can see. If he wanted that molly, he could toss onto headshot. But he's fully focused on pushing forward, fully focused on getting that bomb down, and Matios will repel him. 4-4 the score. That TK from Lux, though, could prove to be the real difference maker. And it was kind of strange. It seemed like they actually ran their open first there on ramp.
Yeah, it was a bit of a weird setup of how they were trying to take the space off them. And obviously that's the reason why we were saying, like, it looks really chaotic. With the setup you had from the CT side, the different angles of verticality on the close angles, you're all coming up ramp like that. It does get messy, right? Everyone's in front of one another. There isn't the space to take the shots in the line of fire. Issues happen, and that's what we saw. But closing down the round will be the big piece of the picture for ODDIK, at least. You equalize things 4-4. And finally, again, it feels like you actually have an opportunity where it's a far weaker paiN, but don't count them out just because it's only the one AK in play. They're damn good with the deagles, and they love these rounds where they can play it slow, find an opportunity to strike where the weaker knee is for ODDIK. Put that hero AK in the hands of Lux, up on boost, clearing the window, expects the angle, and finds Ponter.
Matios with a preemptive Molotov just to make sure they don't spill out onto middle. Well, they got the success they were looking for the time being, the hit and run. And it is the talisman, Ponter, 12 kills. Head and shoulders above the rest of his team. The hero of that 4-2 round. Woody, though, could find himself a pick here. But again, Lux gets boosted up, and again he gets the entry they were looking for.
The verticality catching him off guard, heads up boost again. 2 times he's been put towards the heavens and delivered with his strike from the AK. Up close with the MP9, you got them all and do it cleanly. Fast reaction shot from NQZ, who's been given the orb, scavenged it from the ground. It makes a difference into this one. And they know they've got time. They know they can completely wrap off. Kawaz was just waiting outside of B, so you all barrel back around. You'll have a free bomb site to get it down on, and then you're looking at a 2 versus 3 retake. Even against what you're fighting against here from paiN, this is not going to be easy at all.
QZ just making sure no one was going to go for the peak from the CT side. Now goes in for the plant. Kawaz joins alongside him with Lux, of course, who's still alive, and I think it's going to be the save. ODDIK can't justify this. They still haven't fully established their economy, so it will be a save round. And it's really cool to see as well, man, because, Jackie, one of the cliches that always follows the Brazilian teams is like, oh, they're just really aggressive. They play with loads of passion.
Yeah.
It's just holding W and just getting in the face of people. That was a beautifully crafted and orchestrated round. They had an exact idea of what they wanted to do, and they executed it to perfection with that hero AK.
And that's the big piece of it, right? Because sometimes you do see those buys where it's just like, right, bring out the 1 AK, we'll go in. If someone dies, the next in line can pick it up. Bit of a gamble on it actually paying off, but that was smart. It was in a way where you're always using the elevation, you're always using those off angles to make it uncomfortable. When the AK is peaking, there's room for the pistols to swing on the side if necessary, but he did all the work on his own. And because Woody went down with that orb, you instantly arm the man you do not want to have the weapon. NQZ picks it up, and he can keep that in play now.
Yeah, exactly. One of your strongest defense tools suddenly becomes one of the site-cracking opening weapons that he goes aggressive on short gap with. No funds to accommodate another AWP purchase on the ODDIK side, so the only AWP in play still in the hands of the T, still in the hands of NQZ. They're going to go for these boosts, but paiN slowing it down again. They've had very slow T rounds. They've been playing quite reactive, anticipating that ODDIK are going to get aggressive, and then executing in the last 20, 25 seconds. Sometimes it's going to sting them. It's sometimes going to be to their detriment and to their downfall. But Ponter with a slightly different angle, getting success, and the double-up buddy system working to perfection. Ponter and Turtle both chip in and lock down middle.
The opening frags go their way. Woody with the boost. Timing on it's interesting. Saw the head for NQZ as he falls off. The nade goes awry, but that won't matter. You've got the read onto the AWP. Don't play into it. They wanted to peek together on the fast swing, so it wasn't exactly working the way they wanted to. Now it really is starting to build into a bit of a pressure cooker for them. You're bombarding out towards the site. Turtle goes for the heads-up play, looking to slow down it all on his lonesome, and it doesn't work. The rotations are going to be late. Everyone's so far away. It's a 2v2, sure, but it's not going to be easy. Ponter has to get the backstab off. Nissam's running into him. He's heard the audio cue at least, but how do you even find this?
Oh. Nissim decided to fully go out for it. Now NQZ alone in a 1-on-2 can see the jump spotting. Has been spotted himself. He knows where both players are now. But his position is compromised. Molotov on top of him. He's burning alive. Still lands the flick. 7 HP left. But Ponter will have the last life. Don't know if he has time though. Has no kit. This is going to be exceptionally close. The full 10-second defuse may just end up being a little bit of a bridge too far on Ponter. And that is a heartbreaking moment for ODDIK. Just when you thought you could get even again, the bomb detonates for a 6-4 lead.
The Molotov burning him down, but he turns up the heat with the flick, delivers the fatal blow that seals the round for them. That's crushing. paiN even taking the timeout to relish in the victory of that one, let their players calm down off the back of being so amped up and let it really sink into the minds of ODDIK.
From the grave, he gets the last laugh. Throwing some hype the way of ODDIK as well, and now they have time to stew on it. And I suppose you could even say that the scoreline maybe doesn't fully embrace how this game has came down. If ponter doesn't get that hero play, this could be a very much more one-sided round and half. Super unlucky for ponter. Nice effort though.
God damn. Turtle. Playing up close with the auto shotty, but towards mid. It's a hero play from ponter that does not work. You're forced out by the classic Molotov as well that burns towards wood. Forces him to peek in with the XM. You're giving away those initial frags. The lower economy weapons not being able to deliver into this round. And it's getting really rough for him. Up close with the MP9. Lux is good for these angles and he'll look to pounce. Not straight away, but does take the man down. Overextension from Wood. He knew he had to do something. But your chances of finding much there weren't really in your favor. The whole round slipping away second by second.
Safe call likely is coming up for Matios as well. Can't do much about this with the FAMAS. Lack of funds for the rest of the teammates. It is a brutal situation to be in. Can maybe trade up to that AK actually. It's on the corpse of biguzera. Doesn't want to give his position away with the audio cue though. Gonna check those angles first and then trade up. Smart. No one was here anyway, of course. We have the benefit of seeing that from Matios' perspective. He has that shadow of war. paiN Gaming though, 7-4 in the lead. Considering that ODDIK were 2-0 at the start. Goes to show just how one-sided most of these rifle rounds have been. And it is a bit concerning as well, Jackie, when you look at Woody, one of those players alongside ponter that need to be having the impact. The AWPer on the side of ODDIK, having such a slow start to this game. Yes, Vertigo can be a pretty brutal map for AWPers, definitely. It kind of falls into the same category as Inferno in that regard as far as I'm concerned. But they need him to start getting impact, man, because 3 kills, 47 ADR, that's not good enough.
No, it's unfortunate to see the difference as well if that AWP was delivering to some of these rounds where he had the scope. Could have definitely made a big difference into the game overall. Last round of the first half then goes live. Working with the best you could bring to the table here. Gaps in the defense for ODDIK when it comes to the arsenal of weapons. Nice utility usage though. Lux is low and they wanted to push off the back of that, see if they could shut him down from the audio cue, but they counter-nade. It will at least slow down the push, so he stays alive and could be bogged down with the AWP.
Yeah, thinking about it, I think I only remember seeing Woody with the AWP on CT side like maybe once or twice. And one of those rounds was the Lux double boost on the boxes.
With the AK, yeah, the hero round.
Where he shut him down on the top of ramp. I can't remember Woody having an AWP many more times than that, if ever. And it goes to show how scrappy and back and forth this has been, like this economic game of chicken that's constantly been going against ODDIK. It's not necessarily been all of his fault for his lack of performance, but in the meanwhile, Turtle and Matios lock down the site and have a real chance of getting a 5th.
Oh, peeking one by one into the hands of the T's though, and Nissim, he's having a field day with this. Lux is already pre-scoped, waits for the peek. The adjustment comes out as the wrist breaker will deliver. Woody's in the rear, but Lux has an idea about it. Fires off the warning shot, the no scope that does not connect. 5 HP left on him, 34 seconds on the clock. He's trapped between two sides and Woody re-aggresses. At least they get the last one at the end of the half, closing it down 7-5. You've got a bit of a buffer this time. I mean, compared to Inferno, right? This is a whole different ball game for them.
Oh, 100%. A very different map and how it plays on the T side as well. As you can see from the perspective of paiN, they played slow many rounds, picked up the pace a couple times over on the B side. So you'd hope that ODDIK have a lot more in store and up their sleeve here on the Vertigo. Should be mentioned that this is paiN's choice of map. We know how aggressive they like to be on the CT side. You better believe that Coez is going to try and take the fight to them. This is also a map where Nissim typically has a
weapon working. Bloody hell. That's one way to go straight back into it. I mean, look, honestly, for what it is, at least, you know, you don't invest too much into that, right? It's relatively cheap on the buy that you've gone for with a light investment where you had a little bit of extra cash. Let that round tick on by and focus on the grand scheme of the game when you actually do have the rifles to work with.
Yeah, they invested in a Nova, but they got a kill with it, so they got a bunch of
money back. Yeah,
exactly. Kill reward bonus.
The return on investment. Also, we've got a few seconds with this one as well, with the game being paused here. It is really interesting how, with Copenhagen now getting so close, right? We're drawing towards the end. It's the final curtain, right? Last day, the RMRs. Having a look at how many players we're going to have with their first-time major appearance going into Copenhagen, you've got 38 guaranteed players that will have their first-time major run. the outcome that could happen, as well as we have 41 first-timers going into the opening CS2 major. That's 33% of the total players at the major, Vince, getting to live their movie for the first time.
It's incredible, isn't it? Like that equates to what, like 8 teams full of debutants at the major. Absolutely incredible. It's one of the reasons why I think a lot of people are very hype about this major, not just because it's the first CS2 major and everything that goes alongside that, but the fact that we're in a state of flux. There's no obvious, you know, favorites in terms of the major itself. A lot of new players and teams are coming around and showing that they are more than capable of delivering on the grandest of stages. But we're back into the matchup here. We're back live with ODDIK in with AKs and the Galil. They're being thwarted and pushed back already, swatted out through the smoke. Turtle down to 60, Woody down to 78, but they're looking for the boost.
Boost goes up. Turtle fires off the shots. It's weapons that are best wielded in close range, but they don't want to allow them to get into B. Meanwhile, the rest of the T's aggress out A and find their way in. Elevator smoke goes up to block off the MP9 and sends Lux on the readjustment round to CT. You've got site control, but you've still got to wait for the bomb and the rest of the crew to arrive.
And while you wait for the reinforcements to arrive, it will afford a post plant to come into play. Smoke down as well, and I don't think they want any part of this. They're already pulling back to save. So ODDIK, their first rifle round, hot off the back of the Nova Express up on ramp, have made it work, trading up to a couple of weapons as well. So an AK has been taken through for the next round, but some heartwarming scenes if you're on the ODDIK side of things. You're going to be building up that confidence now. It was a pretty straightforward round. Aggression once more yielding out. An important opening pick from Nighty, who's had a bit of a slow start as well. They're looking to try and hunt down a couple of these weapons in CT spawn. I don't think they're going to be afforded that luxury or possibility. They're going to just hold fire for now.
Seeing what the vibe's like in the team. How both squads are looking at this point. Qualification game, qualification map potentially for paiN. Biguzera, brains of the operation on your screens here. Taking the opportunity to use their second timeout into the matchup. Makes sense. It's a good time to use it in terms of where their economy's at and what they're going to be looking for going into this following round. For the T side, meanwhile, of ODDIK, just got to keep building your way in. We're starting to see a lot more confidence, at least individually. That's one of the telltale signs that looks a little bit better compared to what we had on Inferno. You know, they're taking some of these fights where previously it felt like they weren't sort of willing to go for them.
Yeah, precisely. You know, we were discussing it before, like, show some fight, show some venom in your bite. That's exactly what they've done. Credit to them, they've bounced back. That disappointing Infernal performance is a thing. It's in the deepest part of their minds, but NQZ is going to pass a bullet through the mind of Matios. Same could be said on the return, though, but biguzera with one also gets traded out. So ODDIK are doing such a good job of getting these avenging frags, Jackie, assuming that they lose the first play, they're always bouncing back with one in return.
3 versus 3 that could favor them if they can play off it. You're bringing the AWP range. Oh, in close position. It felt like he was about to get overpowered by the MP9, but no, Woody steps up to the plate, hits a home run with the AWP. But there's a man that's been doing so much damage. He's lurking, waiting for you to walk your way up the ramp, give you security in the round, and then rip it away from you, but not today. Headshot connects, and it's all down to Nissim.
Trying to wrap around the back of the T's here and get the element of surprise if he can coil up and strike. But is Woody watching this angle? He is from ramp. This is going to be so difficult for Nissim. He's going to have to wide swing into the headshot this one pretty much, and he gets one, and a second as well. 1 HP. 30 seconds left on the clock. Such an integral moment in this match. And the bomb is also down on ramp. So not only does Ponter have to go back onto ramp and secure the bomb, but he has to pick up the pace. And that audio cue, that step could give everything away and allow Nissim to pivot in for the headshot. Unbelievable clutch from Nissim. And that could be the back-breaking moment.
the one that ruins you. That's the round that you can't forget. Woody had the bomb on his back, but wanted to defend towards ramp. He thought he could hit the shot and finish it then and there. Instead, it turns into a nightmare, a round that paiN are going to be laughing to the bank with. A clutch that will only continue to amp them up and project them further to Copenhagen without their playing into this map. 10 on the board. ODDIK, how do you come back from that? How do you get yourselves back into this game? Early fight towards ramp, but Nissim again finds carnage. The pistol's at least trading, but it's going a little bit skew-if. It's all starting to go wrong. You're down to a 3v3. biguzera, he's got a sneaking suspicion about the position of Turtle.
That smoke is allowing him to just hide. Try and give away a little bit of presence so that Woody can strike elsewhere, but he went for that wild spray through the smoke. He's anticipating the biguzera was hiding right alongside him. And in doing so, that cost him his life. Woody now, again, having to try and retrieve the bomb behind a wall of smoke. Gonna try and find the window to pass through there, perhaps, and catch one of these CTs off guard. There's 3 separate angles they need to watch out for. 4 if you include this smoke. So you can see the biguzera is switching back and forth between the connector through the spawn side, but he does reposition to the back and allow him to watch 2 at once. And Woody's a dead man. And paiN continue to pick up pace.
With how this game is now going, it really feels like that was the major qualification clutch. That was the round you needed. Bit by bit, they're finding everything else they wanted. ODDIK using their second tactical timeout here. In a position where you've got to claw this game back. 6 rounds on the spin if you want to make it to match point. It's not going to be looking pretty. paiN individually, head and shoulders above. Everyone fragging right now as well.
ODDIK putting the bulk of their finances into this round. They have enough left in reserve to go for another buy, but ponter's down to $0. They have a hero, okay, it's 90 that has that in his hands. Woody's made a resurgence. He was on 3 and 10 at one stage, now 9 and 14. To credit him, his T side has been pretty solid for him thus far. I don't think a lot more where that came from. And the early engagement's not favoring them either. They only have 1 Molotov to try and thwart one of these positions. Double stack in, double peek. Onto rough spray from Coez. Uncharacteristic, and he gets punished by Woody's Tech 9.
Always feels like these trades are all equal, though. There's never an opportunity for ODDIK to build off it, have an advantage in these fights. At least now you've got time. There's a minute on the clock. You've armed yourself with weapons. Woody was the only one that really took damage from the engagement as well. So he's low, sure, but you could use him as a bit of a trading tool into these rounds. You just got to find where there's a way in, where there's a gap that you can actually build back into the 18th.
Yeah, even if even trades though, Jackie, they've upgraded all of their weapons. They came in with 1 AK, they've now got 3. Or the M4 with the 2 AKs rather. It simplifies the timing. But then Turtle just takes him out of the equation. NQC has to try and funnel his way back to the side, but he gets spotted. Although ponter's still alive. And it's Woody actually on the 2 HP. Goes in for the peek. Nullifies ponter. And time is beginning to become a 3rd enemy, a 3rd adversary. But Turtle shuts it down. Both players low, 6 HP between the 2 of them. And biguzera can try and thread a couple more kills. Another chance, perhaps, for ODDIK. But biguzera's playing possum. He's playing his time. This is where experience will prevail.
Commits onto the plant, but biguzera knows exactly where he is. A single bullet is all that he needs. And it is right on target. A 12th round in the bag. biguzera instantly telling everyone to simmer down, keep it level. We're so close now.
I love that he changed up his angle as well, man, because effectively, the back heaven door is like a 50-50 peak from box, and when you're on low HP, you just have to roll the dice and hope for the best. And biguzera knew at that stage that he had all of the advantages going in his favor. The coin was loaded. Both players so low, and biguzera, you say he raises his game whenever his team need it. They needed him to come out clutch, and that's exactly what he did. The last round, perhaps, of ODDIK's tournament life. 6 major qualification points for paiN.
It'll be another line in the history books. Another opportunity for paiN Gaming to make it back to the major. For biguzera and his squad to go out there together in Copenhagen and see what carnage they can cause on the global stage. And for ODDIK, all of the pressure of the game is firmly on the top of your head. Making a mistake, taking too much damage, a missed nade could be the end of your run. They've got their angles set up for this. They're playing bold as well, walking through the smoke into the hands of Woody, an AWP shot that at least silences one.
Just trying to clear the smoke, make sure no one's up close here for a quick wrap around, but they're going to be coming back in anyway. Nissim has the MP9 tailor-made for these kind of positions. NQC just behind it, flash up and over with a smoke as well. And Nissim has a chance. Flashbang fully blinds him, but he's not going to get peeked. There we go. ODDIK, that is as clean as you could ask for. Systematic shutdown, locking in the site in a 12th to 7 round scoreline. They've saved 1, but there's 5 more required where that came from.
How much fight is left? How many rounds can they build back? Up against paiN's weakened buy, you've got an edge to play with, but we know when paiN is cornered, when they're forced into a position where they're playing from a disadvantage, it's where they get ruthless, it's where they get aggressive. That could be all you need to catch a T-side off guard sometimes. Up close towards the ramp, the HE ruins them. The 5-7 beats down on top. Ponter's the last man standing, spraying wildly. He's caught between 2 mines, right in the net of Cowers, and that's how it goes. 13 to 7, they make it to the Copenhagen Major.
An absolute world of pain has just been inflicted on the boys. To be quite honest with you both,